All right, I got a quote for you guys.
Introduce yourself.
So my name is Brian Lay. I'm a dyslexic entrepreneur, and I got a quote for you guys. No prize fighter can go with high spirits into the strife if he has never been beaten black and blue. The only contestant who can confidently enter the lists is the man who has seen his own blood, who has felt his teeth rattle beneath his opponent's fists, who has been tripped and felt the full force of his adversary's charge, who has been downed in body but not in spirit, who as often as he falls, rises again with greater defiance than ever. So I've never been beaten up by my own dyslexia, but it has been difficult. So I remember in grade school, and you do too if you're probably like me, being called up to the board to write something down, being called on to speak, being held after class. If you had it, staying after everyone left to get extra time. And I honestly would rather pitch my startup in front of 500 people than even read that quote in front of you guys here. But if you're like me, you've also been given a gift from dyslexia, and that's that dyslexia can be a struggle. But that struggle breeds persistence, and it plays a part in your entrepreneurial story. So, my name is Brian again. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Alpha Inc. And today, we're a big data company that helps marketers understand their customer word-of-mouth networks. We're able to collaborate and learn from amazing companies like Zappos, American Express, and JPMorgan Chase. And people really care about what we're doing. But that was not always the case. In fact, for a very long time, nobody cared about what we're doing. And when we started, my entrepreneurial journey was me sort of head down, sitting in a rainy alley in Hong Kong. And I'd been in Hong Kong studying abroad, and it was the first time in my entire adult life I had free time. And classes were pass-fail, and so I decided I was just going to barely pass, and that opened up a lot of time. And while I was doing this, I started an event planning company, and so we would basically throw very elaborate parties. So we would buy costumes, people would then come, we'd give out the costumes in exchange for cash, and we'd have a good time. And on this particular day, I had a box of increasingly wet costumes in front of me. Classic supply and demand problem. And I sat there and I started thinking about a question that's led me to standing right here today, which is, how could I accurately predict to 100% accuracy the number of people that would attend a party? As it turns out, that's a rabbit hole and it's very difficult, but from it I grew passionately curious about human networks and the dynamics of decision making, right? Why do people go to a new restaurant? Why do people see a movie? Why do people try a new trend or style? Why do people open up a new credit card with a particular bank? And that's led me to where I am today. But I could have and probably should have stopped several times along the way. So when I first met my co-founder about 5 years ago, 4 maybe, we built kind of a Kickstarter, but for anything. So you could gather people online, you could fund the purchase of an item, and then we'd raffle it off. We thought it was a great idea. The US government thought it was terribly illegal. They won, and we shut it down. And then after that, we could have quit, and we probably should have, but we rolled what we learned about human dynamics and interest into sort of a Kickstarter for parties. And there's actually now a very successful company called CrowdTilt that still does it. But it's a two-sided marketplace, and we couldn't figure out how to get it going and get enough people to use it for it to be sustainable. And so we shut that down, and we probably should have stopped there. But instead, we took everything we learned and we rolled it into building software for nightclubs and bars. This was a terrible business idea. I actually went door to door to 100 nightclubs in North Carolina, and I got my car broken into. I have a whole bunch of stories from that period of my life. But I got better at it, and I started having more people be interested in what we were doing, and the low point of this entire venture was actually 2 years ago, and it was a high point. So I had just stepped off stage. I was really excited. I'd been brought to like the biggest startup competition in North Carolina, and someone had offered to put $100,000 into the company, and I turned it down. I didn't like the terms. In the next 3 months, I proceeded to run out of money and almost have the entire company crumble. Our data scientist was about to be shipped off to China to work for them instead of us. But it was in this incredibly low point in during this very much of a struggle that we looked at what we had built and we saw something interesting. So we built, in essence, a very cool nightclub app that had some advanced features, but it basically just let people buy their cover in advance, right? Buy tickets in advance. But in that, we blended in a piece of technology from the world of epidemiology that looked at the order and sequence in which people decide to go to an event. So if one person goes and then a bunch of other people decide after that purchase is made, we tag this person as highly influential so we can send the next message to them to sell more tickets. And what we figured out is that the nightclub business was a bad idea, but with some coaching from one of our early angel investors, we learned that that underlying algorithm was the actual opportunity. And we could take that and then give it to people that had lots of data, like Zappos, American Express, JP Morgan Chase, to help them understand their customer word of mouth networks. And now I have this incredible opportunity to work with and collect some of the best, smartest, most amazing humans on the planet. And I absolutely love what we're doing with Alpha-Rank. It is my life's purpose. And we're aggregating the world's payment data to map how every single person on the planet is connected to each other. And it's fantastic, but I should have quit, and I probably would have quit had it not been for the early struggles I felt with dyslexia. So what I want to leave you with is that dyslexia typically is a struggle, and will probably still be a struggle for a long time, even today, reading that quote. But that struggle builds persistence, and persistence helps you find entrepreneurial opportunities that other people either overlooked or missed. So next time you're feeling a little black and blue or beat up, recognize that those bruises will heal, and anytime you sort of feel fear flashing, lean into it, go read a quote in front of a bunch of people, and you're going to get courage points that you can cash in to wonderful life experiences in the future. So I'm really grateful to connect with you all here. Please continue to spread DIN out through your networks, and I look forward to connecting you guys one-on-one. So thank you for your time.